that it looks like in the last 24 hours, Future Forward, the preferred super PAC that previously backed President Biden's reelection bid, and now Harris's election bid, is claiming that it has secured commitments of $150 million from donors who were threatening to withhold their donations after Biden's poor debate performance. So it looks like, Selena, the money now coming forward since the president has stepped down from his reelection bid. Kamala Harris is the person that right now Democrats are coalescing around. And now it looks like donors are coming back to the table, or at least super PAC money right now, just in light of these changes.
Yeah, Kira, I mean, major donors I've been speaking to, they are overwhelmingly relieved. The money had been drying up when President Biden was digging his heels in, but now the spigot has turned back on, and my, oh my, it's been really, really overwhelming. Vice President Harris raising from small dollar donors, Kira, just since last night, more than $49 million. And to put that into perspective, that is more than the Biden campaign has ever raised in a single day. Then you just mentioned more money from that super PAC. On top of that, the Biden campaign, now called the Harris campaign, so she's able to tap into that $96 million war chest there as well. But just such a surreal moment that we're in right now, Kira. You mentioned the president. He is still here isolating in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. He's been in his room since he made that bombshell announcement. He has not seen the vice president face to face as she is out there hitting the ground running. But I am told that the president, he is waiting for the all clear from his doctors, and he's ready to go right back to the White House, resume his meetings. That's supposed to be happening with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. And then after that, I'm told he wants to, as soon as possible, quote, very aggressively hit the campaign trail in battleground states with Vice President Harris, campaigning for Vice President Harris. I am told that part of finishing the job for him is to make sure that Vice President Harris is successful.
I guess, Mary Alice Parks, what are your sources telling you about just that goal that the president is saying he's going to hit the campaign trail? He's going to rally around Kamala Harris and do everything he can to gain support for her. I guess the question is, will he have the energy to do that? Or are we going to see just a lot of Kamala Harris out there? Already you've been seeing a difference. Just today, she held an event with athletes and talked about Joe Biden, but it was quite a different tone.
Yeah, look, I think you're mostly going to see her. The president has a pretty big day job. And, I mean, she does as well. They're going to have to figure out this balancing act. They have to still run this White House. They still have their work to do. But he wants to validate her in a lot of ways, have her back, support her, make sure that people who wanted him to stay in the race. Remember, not all Democrats pushed him out. And there's going to be a lot of Democrats that feel uneasy about this process, feel uneasy about delegates, not voters, nominating her in the end. So I think that he feels like he has a real responsibility to stand side by side with her in this moment when he's endorsing her. And it seems like we've been talking about all morning that the party is really coming together behind her. But look, the two of them are also right now, I imagine in sort of the next few days, we're going to have even more of that buzz around who she will pick as a running mate. That also is just fun for Democrats. You know, people are throwing out names, talking about who would be a smart strategic pick. All of this working really to energize Democrats, like we heard Leader Jeffries say. I mean, he didn't endorse her there in that press conference that Jay was at, but man, he went close. He was talking about how he felt like she was bringing new life and energy into this party that has been frustrated and has been sort of depressed, essentially. There we have on the screen some of those leading potential candidates for vice president. Another one I would add to the list, Arizona Senator Mark Kelly. He's been floated around as a possible name. Democrats talking about whether they could put Arizona on the map in a big way, whether Josh Shapiro could get them over the finish line in Pennsylvania. All of this buzz just creating a lot of momentum for Harris right when she needs it as she's launching this brand new campaign, Kira.
Boy, talk about momentum. I mean, Jay, it's faster than a NASCAR race. I mean, just since yesterday, Kamala Harris getting money and endorsements seemed like, you know, at the top of every hour.
Yeah, that is exactly right. And this is a party that was fractured just, 48, 24 hours ago, Kira. It was just about this time yesterday that President Biden dropped that letter saying that he wasn't going to run for re-election. And so the work that has been done to get the Democratic Party in large part behind Kamala Harris has been incredibly significant. Up here on Capitol Hill, we know that the vice president has been making calls, more than 100 calls to various Democratic leaders, some here on the Hill, some from advocacy groups, etc. I've talked to lawmakers who, when President Biden made his announcement, were hoping for a call from the vice president to try to win over their support. And I can tell you a lot of them were happy when they got that call. Some big stakeholders have also endorsed her, not the least of which is former Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who just within the last hour or so endorsed Vice President Harris. That is a huge step in her direction because Nancy Pelosi was one of the ones, our sources tell us, who was privately very concerned about President Biden's chances to beat Trump in 2024 in November, and even expressed those concerns to President Biden. We also know the chairs of the Progressive Caucus, a very powerful group up here on the Hill, the chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, the Congressional Hispanic Caucus, the list goes on. They have all thrown their support behind Vice President Harris. So for a party that was, and this is a commonly used phrase with Democrats, and sometimes it's used with a bit of an eye roll, but for a party that was really in some form of disarray, not, 48 hours ago, this level of unity, frankly, surprised some of the Democrats that I'm talking to.
All right, Jay, Selena, Mary Alice, thank you so much.